Mainoo and Joshua Zirkzee want out of Man United as soon as January. They're not playing games. Man United are out of the Carabao Cup already. There's no Europe. There's one game a week, and they've found their game time extremely limited. Mainoo has also been told at times, he needs to quicken it up in that central midfield area. He doesn't really fit what Ruben Amorim wants. He's struggling to find a place for him. We've seen what Kobbie can do in a three-man midfield, but in a two-man midfield, it has not worked. This is a kid who's played in the FA Cup final for Man United, scored in the FA Cup final, played in the Euros final for England, a meteoric rise, and he's now stagnated in his early career. And Joshua Zirkzee, well, let's be honest, we bought him as a striker, even though he's not a striker, he's a 10. Then we bought 2 new 10s in the summer and put our best 10 into central midfield, and basically he can't get a kick. And it's World Cup year, and these guys want minutes, whether it's loans till the end of the season so they can play, or whether it's permanent moves. They want action. Man United fans, I want to know from you, what should happen here? Is it a simple case of Mainoo, buckle up, work harder, and do what you need to do? Or can you see his point? Can you see his point? He can't play ahead of Ugarte, who's terrible. Can you see that? And the likes with Zirkzee, is it a case of, well, you're not better than Sesko, you're not better than Kuna, Mbumo, not even Mason Mount. So that's just how it goes. There are some reports that are talking about Mainoo and Joshua Zirkzee exits.
Yes, looks like there is not some happiness regarding a lack of play time, a lack of game time from both Mainoo and Joshua Zirkzee. So Sully Talks, good, well-known ITK on social media, is saying that Mainoo is unhappy about his current situation at Manchester United regarding a lack of game time and feels he's not being appreciated. If the situation doesn't improve, he will ask for a loan exit this January, which of course he did in the summer. Several times. The main, pushback and reason for this by Kobbie is because he wants to play in the World Cup next year, and with a lack of game time, feels that he may be left out by England head coach Thomas Tuchel. Joshua Zirkzee, he's in a similar situation. This one coming from the Mail's Nathan Salt and Chris Wheeler, saying Joshua Zirkzee is looking to leave Manchester United in January. Coming from the Mail, bit of a raunchy picture there from
I was thinking that when
the guys at United District. The nerve, by the way, of KG said he could outrun him. It says Joshua Zirkzee is looking for an exit route in January. He is deeply frustrated at his situation, and a move in the January transfer window is seen as absolutely crucial if he wants to play in the World Cup. Now, you're probably going to see quite a lot of this, not just necessarily at Manchester United, Flex. You're going to see it from a lot of different clubs and a lot of different players, aren't you? Whereby they assess their play time or lack thereof. They go, right, January, I need to go out and play, because whether they have or haven't had discussions with their international head coaches, and they say, look, World Cup's on the horizon. It's not looking good for you, mate. And I guess Kobbie and Zirkzee fall into that category. We're playing less games than we usually would. We're in no European competitions. We're in no Carabao Cup. We've only got the Premier League and the FA Cup, 1 game a week. And there's a bit of panic. There's a bit of panic because it feels like there's a select group of players that you can kind of tell are going to get a lot of game time, and some others that are not at Manchester United. So Kobbie's situation is different to Zirkzee because Kobbie will get on more than Joshua Zirkzee will. So far, it feels like, anyways. Kobbie's made more appearances. Zirkzee feels completely out in the wilderness at this point, doesn't it? But yeah. So I can understand it. I can understand it. And do you know what? Do you know what does surprise me, Flex? It surprises me a little bit. There are some that are a bit angry with Mainoo.
They're
a bit angry. There is this kind of, how dare he want to play football, or how dare he ask for minutes? And I'm going to be honest, I don't really get that. I don't really get. And for those in the chat, and maybe they can explain it to me. Can someone explain why they would be upset with Mainoo in this? Because I put myself in, I try and put myself as best as I can in the same situation as Kobbie. And I'd be like, well, I would want to play football too, to try and get to the World Cup. Like, I don't really see what's. Am I crazy there to suggest that I'd want to play football. I mean, because I think it's mistaken, like Cobby's bashing down the door and going, "Put me in the Man United team. I should be playing." But I don't think it's that. I don't think Cobby's like going, you know, I'm Cobby Mainoo. I should be playing for Manchester United. I see it as, I think Cobby's just going, well, if you don't want to play me here, that's totally fine. I just need to play. You know, I just even on loan. Can I go out on loan because I need to get some minutes. Well, otherwise, I'm not going to go to the World Cup. Like I don't see the issue in that.
No, I don't personally. There is a lot. There is a lot that's more pushing towards, because again, we want to make sure we're not Player FC anymore, and for the right reasons. We want to make sure we're not that, and we have gone probably too far the other side, even with this horrible record we've got under Amarin, where we've probably gone too far the other side of like being Manager FC, of like, no. If there's any player who's not on board, don't want to fight for his place, yeah, see you later. It's getting like that, and I've seen even some. Listen, it went on the radio. You never know. Sometimes people call up trying to troll or whatever. But I was in a discussion, I say not an argument, with one United fan. I had to defend Cobby. He was like, nah, his attitude's poor. As soon as he's not playing, he just wants out. He wants to leave, F off, basically. Let him go. Didn't say that, but basically, see you later. And for me, I don't see that. I see somebody who actually is not content in just saying, well, I'm at my boyhood club, so I'm just happy to be here. Because I've got a contract and my name's Cobby Mainoo and I've played already and I'm happy with that. No, he wants more. He wants to continue. And actually, in the grand scheme of things, he's achieved a lot, but also not a lot, if you get what I mean. And the meteoric rise is where you've achieved a lot in a short space of time. You spoke about it. We all know about the rise of Cobby Mainoo. And actually, it's probably hampered him doing that much that quickly and then getting injuries and afterwards and not being able to follow it up. It's probably worse than doing something like what Adam Wharton's doing, which is a slow, steady, and let's be honest, he's won an FA Cup as well, by the way. Do you know what I mean? Against the same opposition. So you was probably better off having a slower, gradual rise than what we saw, because what's happened is he's got it all so fast, and it was in a time when Man United obviously were still poor, and he's a revelation. Goes on to the England team, is a revelation, ever so close to getting European glory, and then a mixture of injuries and a manager change. And he needs more games. He needs more. He needs to keep developing. He's nowhere near developed. He's just had a really, really good period where you can see some of the talent that he has that can be developed, but he hasn't been able to develop it yet. And he's had a taste of it. The guy's been in a European final. The kid's been in a European final. He's played in an FA Cup final. So to sit on the bench week in, week out, getting, and I'm going to quote because I don't want to just make things up, 45 minutes against Burnley because Cunha came off and that was what it needed. 28 minutes against City when we was already like 2-0 down, I think. 3 minutes against Chelsea. 24 minutes against Brentford when, don't get me wrong, we were already losing that game and not looking great. And 13 minutes against Sunderland. Now, the pushback is, well, you got 24 minutes there to do something amazing against Brentford and win us the game. Instead, you gave the ball away and made us lose 3-1. There's people that will say, well, you had 28 minutes, basically half an hour against City to do something special when we were 2-0 down and the whole team's playing shit. And I said the other day, didn't I? And I brought it up. I said, guys, I just want to say this on the red carpet. Cobby Mainoo, I can see it and feel it when I'm looking at him. His rhythm is all off. Like he's so far off it. And that's a mixture of confidence, which we always see happen. It's a mixture of no match rhythm, coming on for 20 minutes here. And probably is another down to as well, the third one, which some people agree with, some people don't. I don't want to be here. You're not going to play me. I'm not going to get any starts. I'm not going to get any consecutive game time to really build up some momentum. And I'm coming in cold every single time. And because he is young and needs to develop, like we say he does, he needs to play games. So if he can't play games here, how can you be mad at him for wanting to leave?
Yeah, and this was kind of the thing here. CH says it kind of speaks to his mentality. If he's prioritizing England over his boyhood club United, it's his choice. But I expect him to fight at United for a season or two. I don't see it as that. I don't think he's prioritizing England over United. I think he just wants to play. I don't see it. I'd be more concerned if Cobby Mainoo was just content just to sit on the bench and be like, I'm cool here. I'll miss out on a World Cup because I'm at Man United. That would be a
no
problem.
ambition. Not playing.
We've dealt with that, and that's why I said I don't think it's Cobby being like screw United. I think it's Cobby just being like, I want to stay at United. That's why I asked to go out on loan. I didn't ask to leave. I asked to go out on loan because I ultimately want to stay and want to play. If you don't. If I'm not going to get the game time, then I'll go out on loan and I'll come back. I'll prove myself that way, because that's maybe a bit of a fairer fight than competing with Bruno. This is why I kind of had the back and forth with KG about on the red carpet on Monday, because his suggestion was, well, maybe in those minutes he should go and prove himself.
Yeah, he's got to do better. He's got to do better in the minutes.
But like you mentioned before, but it's not a fair fight, because even if Cobby came on and did really well, if he's competing with Bruno, Bruno's going to start the next game because Bruno doesn't get dropped. So like I said, I don't really see the issue on Cobby's side that much, because if I was him, I'd be the same. I'd want to. I don't see it as Cobby's going to Ruben Amorim being like, you have to play me in this team. This isn't a new concept, by the way. People have forever knocked on the manager's door and say, what's my game time looking like? Oh, I've not been playing that many games at the moment. Have you got a plan for me, this, that, and the other? That's not new. Everyone's always done that. When you got a World Cup on the horizon, Jack Grealish at Man City, you could make certainly a strong argument of him. He didn't deserve to play because he went there for 100 million. He hadn't done shit. But he still needed to leave because he was like, well, I need to go out on loan because I want to prove myself and go play at the World Cup. And that's what he's done. He's gone to Everton. And people are saying how well he's doing at the moment, right? This isn't a new concept. I think maybe because it's
happened for ages.
But probably because it's an academy player, it's Man United. We immediately...
they're saying he should be humble. He should be humble and just be happy you're here.
We immediately turn it into, you should be grateful that you're here, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, talking out both sides of our mouth, when you do have these players that are happy just to sit around, just happy to be there, we criticize them. How dare you be so confident and be happy to be here and just be happy you're at Manchester United, right? You don't even deserve to wear the shirt or anything like that. Heaven forbid they then knock on the door and go, I'd like some extra game time. If I can't get that, I'm more than happy to leave out on loan. I don't want to leave, but I'll go out on loan and then I can come back and maybe things will change. Players would have left by that point. Maybe it's the best thing for me. How dare you? How dare you want to leave and go and play football and develop and not sit on the bench for a season? So I don't really see the issue in it that much, unless there is a bigger plan at play here when it comes to Cobby that maybe has or hasn't been explained to him. I know some people say, AFCON, and when AFCON happens, Bruno will be moved forward, and Cobby will get into the team at that point.
Bruno will be moved forward, and then Ugarte and Casemiro play all the games.
Maybe, but this kind of like the suggestion that Cobby's got this level of entitlement because he wants to play football. Well, you don't make it to the top level without that kind of. You got to back yourself. Of course you do. You got to back yourself. And on top of that, it's not like he's going in there putting Ruben Amorim in a headlock and being like, play me. You got to play me. And if you don't, you're going to get the sack. It's not like that. It's not that kind of situation. I see it as. For Zirkzee, I see it as a similar kind of situation. Zirkzee will probably leave in January. The only difference there is that, Cobby, there's a lot more attention on it because he's an academy player, because he's an English player. But
no one's calling Zirkzee. Not one person is saying.
Entitled.
I've seen a lot of people I've seen shout out all the big aggregators and stuff, doing some good stuff. A lot of their coverage of it has been real shame, good lads. Like, actually, when he's playing, nice touch and stuff. Just simply, this isn't enough games. So yeah, it's a sad one really. And Mount's there, and Cunha and Boomer are better than him. He's not better than Šeško. So yeah, I get it. But then when it's Cobby, one of our own. I'm not saying these aggregators are doing it, by the way. I'm just talking about the general consensus of what I felt. There's a lot of pushback to, he ain't got the stomach for it. Obviously, Zirkzee's even worse. He's only played, he's played 60 minutes against Burnley, 10 minutes against City, 5 minutes against Brentford, and 8 minutes against Grimsby. So really, 82 minutes across the first 3 Premier League games and one EFL Cup game. Was he injured as well? On the bench.
Yeah,
Oh,
Zirkzee,
unused subs. I know he was.
he missed a lot of pre-season, didn't he? Missed a lot of pre-season.
Yeah, he did. But he was on the bench against Arsenal and Fulham.
Yeah,
he was on the bench. He was back, but
like I said, he's just not getting. And it's no surprise as well that this stuff comes up when we go into international break. Both of which Cobby's not in the England squad, is he? And Zirkzee's not in the Netherlands squad, as far as I'm aware. I don't think.
No, he's not. No,
they're both not in their international squad. So they're going. I mean, how many international breaks are there between now and the World Cup? They're going.
De Ligt ain't even in it.
De Ligt, you know what I mean? So naturally, you know, they start talking to their agents during this time, or you know, they go into quarantine because they're still training with the club, and they're like, "Shit, I'm World Cup. I'm not going." If Thomas Tuchel had to name his England squad tomorrow to go to the World Cup, Cobby wouldn't be in it. He wouldn't.
Whoa,
and that would scare him. You know?
And look, someone said that there's no guarantee that he leaves and then he does get in it and stuff, but it's just about playing. It's just about playing football. I think there's this misconception that if you endorse Cobby and his ambition to leave to go play, you're basically saying, you know, this manager's clueless and this is one of the best midfielders in the whole of Europe and he's not playing for us. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't necessarily subscribe to like Cobby is the answer to everything. And, you know, if he was playing would be much better and stuff like that. I don't necessarily subscribe to it. Like, I do understand that Cobby's got a long way to go. I think that this system in particular, him playing in midfield in a 2 next to Bruno or next to whoever it may be in this particular system, I don't think we'll get the best out of him stylistically. Stylistically, someone like Adam Morton would suit this system better. Stylistically, someone like Elliot Anderson would suit this system better. So I do understand that within our team. That's what my thing with Cobby has been since Amorim has got here, is where on earth is he going to fit now? This is a problem for Cobby. That's all I've ever been on. From minute one, from Ipswich Town, that first game in November, all the way to now, I've always thought the same thing, regardless of injuries, regardless of he wants to live. Before this was a big thing.